So I just saw Infinity Pool, written and directed by Brandon Cronenberg, who is the son of David Cronenberg, who has made, several very well-known weird movies in his own right, probably most notably The Fly, which was, a classic, but has made plenty of other very well-known movies on top of this. It is known for definitely things getting weird, and, Cronenberg's going to Cronenberg as Brandon Cronenberg now, following in his father's footsteps, made a very weird movie in his own right, and a very entertaining movie. I had a very enjoyable time watching this one. I talked about in my 80 for Brady review that I put on the football channel which is either going to be out now or will be out later today, or it was, I watched 80 for Brady and Infinity Pool in the same sitting, which is a unique double feature for sure. Don't think you can find two movies more different. This movie gets weird. There is a lot of nudity in this movie, a lot of this weird imagery in this movie for sure. But it worked for me, and it's one of those movies where the mileage will vary on certain aspects. I don't know exactly how much I want to get into the plot itself, because I do want to keep it kind of fresh if you have not yet seen it. I don't do spoilers until I am going to get into spoilers at a certain point, but I'll warn you beforehand. But I'll read the IMDb plot summary, which is: James and M. Foster are enjoying an all-inclusive beach vacation in the fictional island of Latoka when a fatal accident exposes the resort's perverse subculture of hedonistic terrorism, reckless violence, and surreal horrors. Very unique movie, and talked about some things that I've just never seen before. I think that one critique you could have is kind of what was the point of all of this? And I do think there were some central themes throughout it, but I don't know what all the central themes were, and sometimes it did feel like there was a bit of weirdness for the sake of weirdness, but it's possible there were some things that I just didn't pick up on and were a bit too subtle for me, although I do think that there were some things that I did pick up on as well. And as a whole, I just had a really good time with this movie. I think that, for me, Mia Goth's performance, I'm a big fan of Mia Goth. I think that she plays a sociopath incredibly well. Now with obviously Pearl was one of my favorite performances of the year last year. This one I think was a bit over the top at times. She definitely went for it, but still worked for me in a movie that was over the top, and I had a good time with it. Alexander Skarsgård, of course, very fun as well in this movie. And just, again, it was kind of a small in scale, but definitely large in kind of, in what they were doing. And definitely some of the horror elements really worked. I mean, there was times when I definitely felt myself getting scared, and I don't get scared too often by some of these, horror movies. So definitely, if this is what you're looking for, I think definitely worth checking out. Again, there's some extended sequences where, there's actually an epilepsy warning in the beginning. So, if you, that's worth noting. There's definitely some sequences in this movie where you're going to have, some very unique kind of abstract, sort of David Lynch type sequences happen throughout it. So if that's not your thing, this might not be your movie. If that is your thing, this, still might not be your movie, but I think you'll probably at least enjoy those aspects because they did work for me. But those things are always unique, where when you have some more abstract type stuff, it really just comes down to how does it make you feel? How do you feel when watching it? And if it does make you feel, in an interesting way, well, then it's done its job. But it's really hard to convey if you'll like it or not. It kind of is either it works for you or it doesn't in certain aspects. But it did work for me. So would I recommend it? I think that if this is a movie that you have if you have not seen a movie like you don't see a lot of movies like this. So I think that, if this sounds like something that I'm describing that you've never seen before, probably worth checking out. Unless you're, squeamish to certain things, then definitely not worth checking out. But, if you like these kind of things, definitely I think it's worth a watch. I think it's one of the more entertaining movies you will see all year. It is not a perfect movie, and I can get into kind of more details in the spoilers. So let's get into spoilers. But first, I'm going to give my review. I'm giving my review. I'm going to give my rating for it. I've kind of gone back and forth on this a little bit. I think I'm going to go 3.5 out of 5 stars. Very fun, very entertaining. Talked about some aspects that I really enjoyed enjoyed, but I have some some nitpicks with, I guess, the story itself would be why I can't put it any higher, but still definitely a good time at the theater. And if you have a free day, definitely I think worth checking out. So yeah. Let's get into spoilers now. 3, 2, 1. Spoilers time. So if I had a nickel for every time Alexander Skarsgård ended a movie with a naked fight scene, I would have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. As yes, that is what happened. What a unique idea for this movie of I was really I knew nothing about this movie. I saw the poster, I saw those weird face mask things, which ended up not actually being that significant other than they looked cool, which adds some significance to it. It's almost like a red herring for the trailer, as something you could put in the trailer that doesn't actually give away what's happening in the movie. Kind of a smart idea, I think, a little bit. And they did play a role later, obviously, with Wonder. They used those masks to do stuff. But yeah, I thought that this was a very fascinating just topic of when they went to so they go to, again, if you're someone who's watching this but just doesn't care about spoilers, they go to this sort of government institution. Alexander Skarsgård accidentally runs somebody over, and it was an accident too. Like later on, they said, "Oh, we were gonna try to get you to do something bad. You just accidentally actually killed someone," which made it easy for us. Which I thought was a funny kind of thing there, almost playing on some of these tropes where they make something seem like an accident, but it turns out to be real. Like I don't want to spoil any movies, but that's a trope that happens. However, in this one, they just let it be an accident, which I thought was funny. But they made it, he accidentally killed someone, gets sent to this government institution, and I was like, where are we going here? What's happening? And then they kind of set the stage of, okay, the way it works is if you have money, you can spend some money, and they'll basically clone you. And then they'll, it's the death penalty, but they'll kill your clone instead of killing you. And I thought that sequence was, that was my favorite sequence of the movie, is seeing the little kid kind of kill Alexander Skarsgård's, clone. You then see the character M be very disturbed, seeing, a copy of her significant other get murdered, and he's saying help, like, he has a real emotions and everything. And then you see Alexander Skarsgård kind of smile a little bit. And that really set the tone for what was happening. I thought that, when he had the dream sequence, when he was, I don't know what was happening in that goop thing, but, when he was basically in the cloning process, he has this dream sequence about Mia Goth, and you kind of right there with that and the smile, you realize, okay, something's up. He loses his passport, and very early on, I don't know how many people, I don't know how much people caught it. I caught it, like right when he did it, I'm like, I don't think that he actually lost it. I think that he purposely misplaced it. And not in a way where I'm like, oh, this is obvious what they're doing. And more of like, it allows your mind to kind of wander, because you're like, what is he going to do? Clearly, he was attracted to this sort of, attracted to Mia Goth and attracted to the insanity that was going on. There's definitely some things that I can tell the movie is trying to say. Things about like how, it feels like they're kind of holding a mirror to the American justice system in a sense, and saying this is kind of how it is. People that have money can essentially get away with whatever they want, whereas people that do not have money cannot. And if Alexander Skarsgård did not have money, he would have just been killed there, and that would have been the end of it. So the fact that you have money allows you to then do whatever you want, and they did whatever they wanted in a very fascinating way. There's some other things too. Like, I don't know what the significance of the bloody nipple sequence was at the ending, which, if you have not seen this movie, you were right now saying, what are you talking about, Jackson? What's going on? I don't know what the significance of that was. It seemed like there was something there, because they had several sort of like, sucking nipple sequences, almost like a son to its mother type sequences, not in like a sexy way, in more of like a, what do you call it? Like a feeding way, which I don't know what the significance of that was. It felt like they were saying something there. I don't know what it was, but, okay. It was interesting at the very least. So there you go. I don't know. Very fascinating thing to watch. I think definitely worth a watch if that's the kind of movie you're into. I would definitely recommend it. And again, it's something that you probably know, and unless this is just something you have never seen to begin with, in which case I would recommend just give it a shot, right? See if it's your kind of thing. But you probably know if this is the kind of thing you would like or the kind of thing you wouldn't. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Infinity Pool. At the end of the day, I had a good time with it. I would recommend it if that's the kind of thing you're into. But what do you think? Have you seen the movie? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.